This is just an overview of your lesson today. We worked on several things. Now, looking at the weaknesses in your swing, just firstly we'll look at the right panel here, go through and see quickly what weaknesses that we could really see. So the first thing is the amount of wrist cock you have going back, just not cocking your wrist quite early enough. Now what that tends to do is when you get to the top of your backswing now, because your wrists haven't cocked early enough, your arms have to swing longer. Now because they've already swung their full distance, they actually have to, your elbows have to break down a little bit to allow the club to swing its full distance. So obviously that gets your left elbow bending. When your left elbow bends, everything becomes narrower, it becomes more steep. So when it becomes more narrow and steep, you actually have to try and shallow the club out and also get the club coming with more loft because the steep angle has de-lofted the club face. So in order to do that, your hands have to release early. Now your hands don't actually release too early here, but we can see there's a lot of stalling and bunching up. We can see very much at impact how much your left arm and hand have broken down in relation to where the club is. Okay, so that's quite a big breakdown for that point in the swing, and obviously as it continues on it gets worse. So we need to expose that. We can also see here how your left elbow is kind of bowing out and flying. We want to try and get that chicken wing fixed. So the way we're going to do this, the first thing we talked about was your backswing. So the backswing, we need to get your wrists a lot more cocked. So if we look at the right frame as opposed to the left frame, we can see here at parallel with the ground, your left arm and club shaft not creating enough of an angle. We should be getting to about 90 degrees by this point. We can see on the left frame that straight away, just telling you to do that, you know how to do it, it's there perfect. Not only do we want to try and get that with more wrist cock, we also want to try and feel like the club face is shutting down back there. Now from this point on, we want to try and feel like your right hand is pushing the club through down the target line. We can see here with this one on the right frame here, the palm of your right hand, it's facing all the way out here towards the net already, which is going to have a direct influence upon which direction the ball goes. So we want to try and have the palm facing much more down the target line at that point. You're trying to feel that with this shot here. When we went out in the grass, when we went out and saw the ball flight rather, you're doing much better with that. We need to have that hand and your forearm continuing to push the club down the target line. Now when that club is more pushed down the target line with your right hand, automatically your body's going to get a lot more into the shot and you'll get a lot more power out of the ball. Your follow through is quite simple. We wanted to try and get your left arm rotating more in the follow through and through impact. We can see straight away here on the left panel here that the chicken wing's already gone. It's finished, it's fixed. So chicken wing is only to do with lack of forearm rotation. So if your left forearm rotates correctly, well, there's no chicken wing. So your left hand is less likely to break down. It's discouraged from breaking down. If your left wrist breaks down, obviously the ball is going to go left, and not just a little bit, it goes a long way left. So that's what should happen when the left wrist breaks down. So in order to fix that, we need to get you feeling like you're hitting more from the inside with your right hand, getting that right hand to really push down the line more with the ball. So when you practice this, I'd like you to practice off a tee to start with. We're going to be hitting some funky shots, but you should be able to see straight away your best shots, which will probably be about 30% of the shots you hit. They will be better than what you had been doing. There'll be better quality contact, better ball speed off the face, more compression, just much higher quality of shot. Now you will have about another 30 to 40% that will be kind of just so-so, hooking a bit too much, not quite flying in the air correctly, maybe losing a bit of contact with hitting the ground a little bit early from time to time as well. So, and then there'll be another 30 or 40% that won't be very good at all. Now that other 30 to 40%, we will change some things in your next session and lesson that will tidy them up dramatically. So that's it for now for your full swing bill. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I sent you through a test email there, so please get back to me to make sure that I have the correct email address. If not, I'll have to get it off you again. Moving on to what we covered in the latter half of your lesson, chipping. So chipping, you talked to me about wrist flipping, hands flipping. There's a few things here that you do well, some things that we need to get better at. The first thing and foremost is grip pressure. And we talked about, my analogy was, well, you know, if you had a choice, would you like to have the club flipping around floppily in your hands, or would you like to have your hands controlling the club's movement? Now, thinking about a logic like that would instigate a slightly firmer grip pressure than what you'd have on most of the shots off grass or most of the full swing shots. So your lightest pressure is going to be with your longest club, and it's also going to be the club where you're going to have your latest wrist cock, and that's your driver. So we want to try and have soft hands with your driver. With chipping and putting, we actually want to have your hands quite firm, so that the club is not wobbling around. So we want to be able to control it more with some firm pressure with our hands and our forearms. So I changed a few things here. One, we got you gripping the club all the way out to the end. Two, I wanted to try and feel like your head and sternum was here, just ahead of the ball. Now at this moment, that's too far forward. We'd actually like to see you about just here, just ever so slightly in front of the ball, so everything's too far forward there. The other thing that's too far forward, which kind of has to happen when the ball's so far back, is the shaft angle. We want that shaft angle perfectly straight up and down at this point. So your entire body needs to move back, here and here, to get yourself back in the realms of where we need you to be. So that's pretty simple as far as setup goes. From there, you can actually get the club grounding out a lot more easily. You can get the leading edge of you can get the bounce of the club soling out through, rather than the leading edge digging in, rather than the toe digging in. So firmer with the bounce of the club hitting the ground. Good luck with the practice, Bill. Please get back to me if you have any issues.